There he is. Hey,
What's
Shane.
up?
All right. This is awesome. Whew, I'm nervous.
Good job.
How are you feeling here, Shane?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. Should we give people a couple minutes to get on so they don't miss anything amazing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome.
Figured it out?
Well, I had to get Lila to come in and help me. Oh, boy. But now I can put this on my resume. I've done an Instagram Live with
Like genius.
with with somebody else. So let's give it a minute or so, like one, and then we'll get going.
But
Are you wearing Minnesota gear for the people out in California?
Kobe.
Oh, California gear. Shane's
Yeah,
going to San Diego State next year, so he's going Cali.
yeah, for sure.
I thought it was Vikings.
Nah,
Nah.
California all the way.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna tell people a little bit about what we're doing today, and then we'll get started with the interview. Sound good?
Sweet.
Okay, and then you can watch the chat too and see if we get any questions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm Felicia Homberger, for those of you who don't know me, and I am a lead coach for the Center for Culturally Responsive Teaching and Learning with Dr. Holly. And I'm super excited to be here today with one of my all-time favorite students, and I see some of my other students out there, and you're my favorite too. But one of my all-time favorite students, Shane Gerschwindd. And Shane is a senior at Hopkins High School, and I've had the joy of having him in class. But I want to tell you a little bit about how I met Shane, because it's just a good story, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So Shane was in my AP Language and Composition class last year, and he was a junior. And the first day of class, he was just one of those kids who shined for me. I knew he was going to be awesome. Right away, I saw some of the behaviors that we here in VABB Nation, we really value. He's sociocentric. He brought some life to the class right the first day, some humor, some jokes. He was a verbal overlapper, so he jumped in when he wanted to, which I am too, so I liked that. And even the first day, he was like real, and I like real. So I was super excited to have him in class. So class ends, I go back to my office, and I have a phone call waiting for me 5 minutes after class ends. And it's Shane's guidance counselor telling me that he had already hightailed it down to the guidance office, which in our building isn't short distance, and he had already dropped my class. So with all of the outrageous love I could muster, I yanked his butt into my office, and we had a talk. And the rest is history, or I would say his story. It's really the story of his journey, how he came to know about the value of CLR. And since then, he's been my instructional assistant. He's doing an independent study with me around CLR. He's read Dr. Holly's book. And the coolest thing that
Great book. Great book.
Great book. And the coolest thing we've had a chance to do together is lead some workshops for students in different schools around CLR, teaching them what CLR is all about. So Shane is a senior at Hopkins High School in a time that it's really hard to be a senior. So let's show Shane a lot of love here today. And Shane, why don't you introduce yourself in your own special way?
All right. Hello, everyone that's watching. I'm Shane, and obviously I'm one of Miss Homberger's students right now and was one of her students last year. And I'll be going to San Diego State next year, which I'm really excited to do. So I'm guessing there's a lot of California people on this, and so I'll see you out there. And yeah, I'm just excited to do this.
Anything you want to say about your side of the story?
Oh, yeah. So like when so as I've gotten older in like school, like I've always gone to Hopkins. Like I've had different teachers all throughout the time, and Miss Homberger, like I really liked her and was really drawn to her because I felt like I could like not like be at home, but I was at home in school, you know, and I could be myself. which was really nice because I like when I was younger, I couldn't really like be who I wanted to be all the time. And like her being at there allowing me to just kind of do my thing, but like also like she like I was never like stepping over her or anything like that, but like do my thing and she does her thing and we all just have fun in the classroom and like I learned so much from her. And then it showed me like it gave me like like kind of a guideline of like what other teachers. So I realized other teachers that were doing like similar things that she was, and then some teachers that maybe were missing the things that she like the good things that she does in the classroom. But yeah, the main thing is that I really gotten able to be myself in with Miss Homberger, which has been really cool.
So as you've learned about CLR, you've read Dr. Holly's book, right?
Yeah.
And you've gone to those trainings. What about CLR do you like, or what resonates with you?
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, the best thing is that I get to be me, and also I love how the teachers like get all of the kids in the classroom to like it's very togetherness in the classroom. I love that because I love interacting with other people. And instead of kind of we're gonna do this today and then you can sit there and do your work, it's like we're gonna do this together and then you can do your work together, or if you want to work by yourself, because we all have those days where we're like, I want to be in the corner with my headphones in. But I just love the like kind of the familial feel that you get out of it. That's my favorite thing
Okay.
for sure.
And in your college, so you, as we got to talk, we talked a little bit about your experience
Yeah.
in school, and you didn't even realize some of the things that you were being reprimanded for were cultural, until we got to
Yeah.
talking.
Uh-huh.
And so while you had a great experience in Hopkins, there were times that there were those cultural misunderstandings. The teacher didn't get you,
Yeah.
right? And so how did you what insights, you wrote about it in your college essay.
Yeah.
What insights did you have about the traditional system of school and how it didn't work for you and maybe some other kids?
Well, honestly, I could start in kindergarten and go down the list every single grade and tell one, but I'll just like, and also I want to say, like, as I got older in high school, it got a lot better. But let's say, like, in kindergarten, I had like, if I behaved well in like each day in class, I could have like a 30-minute break to go to like a motor room and like play with pad like balls on strings and stuff like that. And like play board games and stuff, but that was only if I behaved well. And me behaving well was like being quiet, sitting like this, right? And just kind of writing my stuff on my paper and not really having like a personality, you know? And then first grade, very similar thing. I got a daily report card, and I remember this very distinctly. It was me, two kids in the class got a daily report card. Everyone else was like the 4-term, whatever. And the only day I ever got all A's on this report card, I did not say a word. That I remember going to school that day. I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna say a word. I probably the day before or something, I'd probably gotten a bunch of bad marks, and my parents were mad at me because they're just reinforcing whatever the teachers are saying. So I was sitting there the entire day and didn't say anything. I remember walking out of that classroom, teacher saying, "Shane, you did a really good job behaving yourself today." And so that, yeah, I don't think I ever did. I don't remember. I didn't ever not talk again, but that wasn't fun. And then fourth grade, my dad used to have to come in during math class and sit. That's probably more on me. That's probably more because I was like kind of fed up with what like having to be not myself. So I was revolting, and I think it really started in fourth grade. Fifth grade, I kind of figured it out a little bit, but I remember my dad coming in and having to sit in the corner of the classroom, and I would be so scared. I'd be like, and then yeah, ninth grade, I had a fast pass to the office, and then really after ninth grade, things started to get better. I think the high school teachers, because our high school is 10th through 12th grade, and I think the high school teachers understand more. I probably grew up and matured more, and it's gotten better, but yeah.
And ninth grade, your fast pass was for things like,
Oh, like talking and like blurting, maybe a little bit of like if I didn't like displaying my like distaste in something that we're doing in the classroom.
okay. So
Yeah.
when we talk about cultural behaviors, what I'm hearing there is for being social, for jumping in without being called on, which is
Yeah.
verbal overlapping,
Yeah.
and for being real. And just, I mean, sometimes you said to me, like, oh, and you know what? I always felt that
Wait.
that was just what everybody was feeling. Yeah, we got a question. What's a
Yeah.
fast pass?
Okay.
Yeah.
So a fast pass was like, instead of a teacher having to go on the phone and take the time to stop class and call the office to have someone come get me, I had a fast pass that was like, she could just be like, all right, Shane, go to the office, and I wouldn't have to, they don't have to make any call. I would just show the little fast pass at the office, and they'd be like, and then I'd sit and like, they got a really cool behavioral guy. He was cool, but I kind of enjoyed talking to him. But it was it was definitely better than class sometimes. But yeah, so I that's what it is. That's a fast pass.
Okay, so when we've worked with students and we've done these trainings, we've talked a lot about what is validating and affirming in a class. When you, I mean, you on the first day of a class, you already make lots of decisions, right?
Yeah.
So what about a teacher or class helps you learn? What are some examples of times that teachers have validated who you are culturally?
All right. So there's like, of course, like little things like being able to get up and walk around, taking stretch breaks, group work, kind of flexibility, do our own thing. But like, for sure, the biggest thing with me is like the showing. If I see that the teacher cares about me and about other, not just me, about my like classmates and stuff, that's gonna make me want to actually try and like kind of, because then you build like that relationship where like you don't want to disappoint them, and also you feel like they like care enough about you, and if someone cares about you, you're like feeling like you can actually do it, you know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing. I love when teachers care about what the kids are actually going to do in the class with what the teachers are giving them, right? And so some examples that pop into my mind is I had a U.S. history teacher in 10th grade, and he was awesome. We, of course, I still was kind of a little bit immature in 10th grade, and probably still am now, but he he like, so if I like blurted too much for a little bit, sometimes he'd like jump right back in with me, and we'd like get in a conversation like in the middle of class while teaching. And then other times it'd be like he'd just like give me a look, and then he'd keep teaching, and then he'd like, while we were working, he'd just like pull me out of the class, and he'd be like, all right, we're just gonna not like that's not the time. Like, I see you want to do this, but like that's not the time to be doing that, right? And he was never mad, never sent me to any office. It was cool. It's probably like the first time that I really had a VABB, right? That's the right
Yeah, that's
terminology.
it.
Yeah, a VABB experience. And then of course Miss Homberger, uh, she's a pro at it, and like for just her pulling me back into the classroom, and like after I dropped, that showed me right away that like, oh, I probably should take this class. She's cool. This is gonna be cool. She cares about me already, and she's known me for like 15 minutes. And also, so part of the reason why I dropped was because I was scared that I couldn't do the class, and so you kind of like you pulling me into the classroom and saying like you should take it. It kind of gave me the confidence to be able to be like, oh, maybe I do belong here, because I seen all these smart kids out, and like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hard. But then you pulled me in, and I was like, oh, I can do this, can't I? You know?
And you rocked that AP test, right? Like
Of
this is
course.
yeah. All right. So some of the things I heard you say, just to underscore for our audience, is you like group work, which is collaborative, right? Not just
Yeah.
only sitting in your cubicle.
Right.
I heard you say you like, what I heard you say you like the most is what we call immediacy. Like you need to know that warmth and that relationship is there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to just go through the motions of school.
Right. Not at all. That's boring.
Yeah, that's boring. All right, so now we're on the hard question, and I just want to remind people that Shane is not a magician, and he hasn't solved he's magical, but he hasn't solved all the problems of distance learning. But, you know, it's hard because those things that I try to do in the classroom, even I am really struggling. Like, how do I show kids all those things that I try to show, that relationship, that sense of family? So what are some things that you've seen yourself or you've heard because you interviewed your classmates?
Yeah.
what are some things you've seen or heard that teachers are doing to keep the VAB alive
Yeah.
in distance?
Okay, so I do only have one class every other day, distance learning. So I have been a little like, I'm not super into the distance learning thing, but I have friends that talk about all that's the main topic of conversation right now. So a lot of people like the Zooms, but people don't like Zooms like Zoom class meetings when we have like work and Zoom. So kids are getting a little lazy, but okay.
We know.
Yeah, but so we like talking on the Zooms because it's kind of fun seeing all the, like, I know I was on Miss Homberger's the other day, and a kid was cooking an omelet on the Zoom. And like, if you knew the kid, it's just like exactly his personality, just doing some obscure thing at a random time. And so that it's cool to see what the kids are doing, and it's nice to be able to talk with your classmates in some type of way. You know, we're all texting each other while we're on the class on the so that's fun. Also, teachers are doing a great job of responding to emails. I messed up and forgot to take a Spanish test the other day, and I emailed my teacher. 3 minutes later, she had the test open for me, and I was like, "Dang!" Like that, like because I guess that's and that was cool. What else?
Let me pause you for a second. So two things I hear, because this is hard, but one thing I heard is like still creating those opportunities for socialization between peers, socializing while learning. And the other thing is, you know, I bet you don't know this, but some schools are really policing Zooms and have a lot of rules for Zooms, kind of like, so some kids could get in trouble for making an omelet during a Zoom, right?
Really?
Yeah, really. Really. So you like the teachers who are cool and let you be yourself. And
I just always think like if you're getting your work done and like you're not being disrespectful on it, like the kids should be able to do what they want, like what they need to do, you know? So
gotcha.
and want to do.
All right, so we've done about 20 minutes, and so now we're gonna end this at 4, but we want to take some questions if there's any questions out there in the studio audience.
I brought the water, feeling like official interview. They always take sips of water in the break, so I had to try it. Yeah, shoot the questions. I know you have one, Jessica.
What state are we in?
Minnesota. It's nice outside right now, though. It's not cold.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think there's sometimes a little bit of a lag. The questions take a minute. Yeah. Maybe you are a magician and you have answered all the questions of the universe.
Any questions?
Oh, can you share more about the student CLR meetings we did in Rochester?
You want to start that one? Or me?
Well, I do the training that Dr. Holly, a student version of it. So I teach them about what CLR is, what culture is, what the cultural behaviors are, what it means to validate and affirm. And then we do some real, with the kids, they brainstorm about their school and areas where their school's being responsive and not. So what did you see in that when we were in Rochester?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I saw in Rochester was like the type, like kind of like who came out to come to that like CLR training. And that was kind of interesting to me. It was like the student government kids and then like younger, more minority kids. And that was kind of the group that was there. And you didn't see a lot of kids that aren't affected by not having culturally inclusive classrooms, you know? So, but then it was really cool seeing all the kids that come up with ideas. They all have like, it's like they had all this stuff in their brain, and then Miss Homberger kind of gives them like a little outlet to shoot it out, and it's just like boom, you know. And they're throwing stuff on paper, like what they can do, what they should do, what needs to be done, and yeah, so that was pretty cool.
So they came up with some cool things, like just from learning about the rings of culture. Like they came up with student peer tutors who are English language learners, so they could tutor. This came all out of this student training. So it's really about empowering kids once they understand the rings of culture.
Yeah.
because the kids know what needs a little bit of fixing up in the school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A question we had is, have you ever had a teacher say they care, but you don't believe him or her?
Oh, uh, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's like beyond teachers. Like, if anyone says they care, I feel like they don't care. You know, like I feel like if you care about someone, you just show it, and they know it, and it doesn't need to be said. So, like all the teachers that I've had that really care, they don't need to say it because I just feel that right when I'm walking to the classroom, I go give Miss Homberger a fist bump.
We might not be doing those for a while.
Fist bumps are okay, right?
Air fist bumps?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so I just think like if someone has to say that they care, I think it's a little bit BS. You know, they
Gotcha.
just show it. Yeah. I just have a quick one, and then we can go back up. The best and worst part of distance learning, the best part is we have a lot of free time, and I can like do my own things and get my own. It's nice practice for college. And the worst part is I don't get to see my friends. All right.
And Shane, I'm going to add something to that. Some
Yeah.
of the things that what are some things that teachers are being cool about in distance learning that you kind of wish they were cooler about in the building?
Oh, yeah. Like, actually, we had in one of my classes, we had a really good discussion about being like how our generation kind of we get our work done. People love bashing younger generations. We get our work done, but it's in like increments, right? So I'm gonna work on English class, maybe in math class, but I'm gonna get that math class done later, right? So it's been nice to be able. I just jump from so many different things. I'll be like reading a book, and then I'll jump to doing a little bit of Spanish, and then I'll like go run, and then I'll come back and do Spanish. And it's nice being able to do that. And I think that's what I wish like teachers, not, I guess if you're in a class, teacher's not gonna be like, all right, you can go do your math work. But like if they catch a kid doing it, instead of being like, hey, do your work, just be like, come on, you know?
Or maybe schools could be set up differently, right?
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's a brain twister.
Any other questions out there? I think Jessica
Oh,
asked the way that the students play a role in CLR in the classroom.
okay. Well, can you like help
She
me with
always
this
gives
one?
you a challenging one.
She's trying to stump me, yeah. Can you help me with that one?
Well, for me, I don't know. I just can think of some moments with you, like when, you were in an AP class that was very, very traditional. And so some of the kids really like that individual, go take notes, put your nose in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I did anything movement based, they would not want to get out of their chairs. And you would say, come on, you guys, this is fun. And I always when you said that, that's why we do CLR, because we do it for the kids who who need that, and we don't for the kids who are uncomfortable. Kids like you were uncomfortable all through kindergarten and first and maybe all of elementary school.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that the different personalities, that's what really comes out with CLR is the different personalities in the classroom. I think it kind of gives each kid a chance to be individual instead of just like another tadpole coming through the system. And like that individuality, I said that right, yeah, that just helps kids actually be comfortable in their skin as they go off and do things on their own.
And in your college essay, you talked about how your family's way of communicating was different than what school expected.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, like I talked about in my college essay, like I said, like we don't have a talking stick at my house. And it's true, like in school, like they like, all right, guys, we're gonna pass the ball around and do show and tell today. And why can't we just like go like, all right, guys, like instead of just being like, oh, we just go talk with a friend and like show and tell them what they have. I like when teachers do that. They're like, all right, find a friend, you're gonna talk to them, and then you're gonna share it out to the class, which you do a lot. I like that. Like and that's fun. And then you get to try to like flex on the other classmates that you found a better quote or something like that.
I heard. Are there peers of yours who don't see the value in CLR or don't see the point?
I think that it's not that they don't see the point; it's they don't realize that there is a point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like they're just so like there are people that like live their life and they want to just be like in between the lanes, right? And that, like, we need that. And so there's definitely my friends that are just like, all right, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna do my work, I'm not gonna like make distractions for anybody, and I'm just gonna live like that. And that's what they value. And so yeah, there are kids that don't see it, you know. Yeah.
And yet, if we don't get any other questions, I was just going to have you, because we've been talking for a while here.
Yeah.
What are some that from this, for both the students out there in our audience and the teachers? What is your kind of parting message to students and teachers?
Me?
About CLR, about moving past this distance learning craziness,
Yeah.
about the future?
Yeah.
You gave some nice parting words to my class the other day.
I did.
Yeah.
So I think for teachers, like, you guys are all amazing because you guys have like something in you that makes you want to help people, right? And that's really cool and kids need, and so I think teachers, like, if that spark goes away, that's like, I don't know, but while you have that, like, that's the best. Like, it's the best feeling to have a teacher that you can tell really cares. And I think the kids need to realize that the teachers really care, right? And if you don't have a teacher that doesn't care, you either have to approach them about it or kind of just get through it, right? Like, there's definitely things that we just have to like put our hard head on and get through it.
You know, we've talked about a lot of what I've heard you say today, Shane, is how as you got older, you've been able to code switch, right? And so
Yes.
you figured out what you need to do to play that system. Mm-hmm. But in VABB Nation here, we don't want students to have to give up who they are in order to be successful. Yeah. So in our world, we want you to be able, we call it culture switch, where you can figure out what you need to do, but you never have to give up who you are. Yeah,
yeah, that's perfectly said. Figure out what you need to do, but never give up who you are, because that's the best being you, you know?
I feel like that's a great note to end on. Don't you think?
Agreed.
All right, so let's say, let's give a fist bump to our studio audience out there.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody.